Isn't it exciting? I'm sitting here looking at this arraignment trial on the thing for the parents of that Crumley kid. They don't even care about their fucking kid. This is about them. They don't mention anywhere in there the defense attorneys. I'm like 28 minutes into it. I don't know. They haven't once said, these defense attorneys saying, oh, the sorrow that their parents are going through with the fucking horrific fucking beast that they raised and fucking kicked out into public with orders. I'm guessing they gave them orders. Go get them, boy. Isn't it exciting? They got $500,000 each to get out. So they got to have $1 million in liquid finances. Yep, got $1 million there. They sold a house or something, I don't know. And let's go back to the Crumley kid, just for a second. The Crumley man. You see, by the twisted things, a flightless, furless, clawless creature, known only for its capacity of intellect, but just stupid enough, just smart enough to be stupid. You see, there is stupidity in believing you're smart. These things will bite you in the ass every time. That's a real man. And you take this kid, he becomes a man. In the military standard, I remember Misich, this big dumb guy with a fucking head. You know, people think people with big heads are smarter than everybody else. I only know one person with a big head that's smarter than everybody else, and he's a fluke. You gotta compress it. You gotta have a little head. It creates crevasses, places where fucking connections are being made. They can jump across the wall. They can see each other and decide whether they want to jump. And they jump. Because who wouldn't want to be with such a beautiful thing as an idea that not only supports your own, but enhances it? This kid's a fucking man. This Misich guy, he would always say, walk down, he said, oh, you're a man in the army. And I was like 17, just turned 18. I was up in permanent party. And I'm like, I just don't really feel like a man yet. And he says, if you're in the 82nd, you're a man. It's the idea of being a trained killer and all this shit. And it's like, So this kid Crumley, having killed people, he went from being a kid to be a man. He's the Crumley man. And his parents are sitting there in court and getting $1 million for both of them to get out. What if we only can come up with 680,000? Rochambeau. Who gets out? Who gets out is the one that escapes. The other one will sit there in jail. It's not like, the party, road goes on forever and the party never ends type of stuff. It's one of them is going to be stuck in there. And if they can afford for one of them to get out, you can be assured that the one left in there is going to fucking spill their guts. That's what they haven't talked about. A mind-blowing experience. $30,000. I brought it to you first. We're going to fucking turn on each other. So they never once ask or say anything about how terrible it is that these parents of this thing that they created out in the world, go get them, boy. They never once mentioned anything about the concern for their child. And so with these 500,000 fines, bails for each of them, no 10%. See, that's the thing. Normally you think 500,000, you take 10%, okay, $50,000, I'm out. And there's this law thing that goes on, but with something like this, they're like, no, you are a flight risk. So they take their money, then they make them. This is the exciting part. Then they make them pay for their own drug and alcohol. Alcohol is a drug. I know. It's the drug for me. They make them pay to be tested. No beer, no weed, no any other thing. Throw in heroin, fucking whatever you got. They're not allowed to do that. And they have to pay for it. So they're paying out of their pocket to say, fuck, every time I go here, it's me. And they're gonna be upstanding citizens from now on for a minute. Because they gotta get out of here. They pay for their tether. They can go to work. They can go to the doctor. They can go to their piss tests. Nowhere else. And in addition to this, they have to turn in all weapons. They've already confiscated several of them. However many of them. Several, I say, because I don't know how many. And I did that wrong. Say a couple is 2, 1 is 1, a couple is 2, a few is 3 to 4. Several is 5 to 7, and many is anything above. Up to the point when you reach all. That's my interpretation of it. So they take all their weapons. They send them home. Say they both get out. This is the way it's working. They take all their weapons, they send them home, they take all their booze and their weed and their fucking LSD. Mushrooms are illegal in Detroit now, the way I've heard. I think that just happened about a month ago. Psilocybin. People will say psilocybin. I say psilocybin because PSI, that's the way it's spelled there in the beginning. That's the Greek for, the mind. And so psilocybin. Not going to be able to do that either. So they're sitting at home, alone, together, going to work, seeing everybody looking at them because everybody looking at them is thinking, it's a goddamn good thing you didn't send your kid to the same school that mine went to. Otherwise you'd be dead. I would have killed you by now. All of these fucking people that think they're so great. They have greater things to fear than themselves. They have a firing squad full of people that aren't good shots. They've taken away their weapons. What's that mean? They don't even have butcher's knives in the house anymore. They're going to be sitting there looking at each other. They already can't stand each other sober. They're going to be sitting there looking at each other. Fucking looking at tethers on each other's leg. Looking at tethers on each other's leg. And they're going to say, how about I just go in the other room and I get the fucking 9mm we bought for the kid for his early Christmas present, and I shoot you, and then I shoot myself, and they look at each other and say, I don't know if I can trust you. And so they talk, and they talk, and they talk, and it becomes an argument. They're there in their own house with their tethers and no money. They're not even in their own house. They're probably in the pen in Kalamazoo. That fucking open, the pen. And they fucking attack each other with fucking forks. Now, as they're jabbing each other's eyes out with forks. Because they can't fucking stand each other to begin with. Otherwise, they wouldn't have raised such a fucking idiot. Fighting back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Kids saying the world is dead. Where do you get that? You got it from them. They're fighting each other, fighting each other, fighting each other with a fork. Now, we understand what it is when you lose all sense of order and free your mind. What's the follow-up to that? It's a bad thing to say when you free your mind to yourself that things can go so horrifically wrong. But what you need to have before you free your mind to yourself is an understanding that we are all part of this cell.